Hello, everybody. Welcome and thank you for joining us once again. We've got another poem from the Power and Conflict collection, and this time it is The Emigrée by Rumens. Okay, so let's move on and have a quick look at this. So, the poem, firstly, we want to know what it's about. So, it seems to be a little bit ambiguous at times in terms of what the country is that she's referring to, in terms of whether it is a country or perhaps is it perhaps metaphor, perhaps for something else. It could be, as I say, represented time, emotions, and so on. But ultimately, there's a couple of feelings really that we have, and throughout each stanza, really, there's a contrast really taking place where both sides are looked at. So we've got the feeling of nostalgia, so they feeling very nostalgic about really the city, say the country, and they feel, of course, saddened really by having to leave there. And of course, it appears that they are really sort of pining for that country and wanted to go back. And then on the other side, we have the feeling of threat as well. So it seems as some sort of foreign forces come into the country, and the country is at war, and they are just ruling at the moment. This is something that saddens her immensely. So let's have a look at some of the quotes. So we'll start off with the quotes, the main quotes highlighted in red, and then there's some there in green as well. So starting off with the first line, so there once was a country. So once was a country there, so really giving the idea that it no longer is there now. But of course, she sort of gives the impression that it's following on from that it's still present at the moment, but of course it's not really the same as what it was. And that's something, again, really sort of just sets the tone here, that of course she has lost something, or at least perhaps others have lost something in terms of the country. The next stanza, we've got the white streets of that city, the graceful slope. So this is perhaps the other side, the other feelings have been brought in here with the white there. Really sort of giving the feeling of innocence and beauty, and really also seems heavenly as well. So the graceful slopes, really positive language, certainly in relation to the city. And of course, she continues with this as well, trying to just perhaps give reasons or allowing us to really reflect upon it with lots of language about light, certainly within this poem. And finally, we've got the evidence of sunlight as well. So in each stanza of the three stanzas, we have sunlight mentioned at the end as well. And you'll find sort of within the middle, there are different points, references to the threat that's been posed by those that have invaded her country. But certainly with the ending of sunlight, of course, carries lots of positive connotations there as well. With the light, again, once more, signaling warmth and, of course, sense of vitality as well. But, of course, bringing that in towards the end, this ultimately demonstrates that the feeling that she has of nostalgia and the love she has for the country, that triumphs in this situation, and she will still love the country despite what it's going through, and despite the barriers and the issues really that it's facing at the moment. So have a look at one or two of the quotes there as well. So I just talked about the issues it's having at the moment. So the next quote, it may be at war, may be sick with tyrants. That's something that can be linked to that as well. So suggesting it's sick. So we can say from that it's a temporary sickness there as well. So it's a current state of weakness at the moment where the country is going through some difficult moments, and of course it is at war as well as suggested there. So it's not really giving the impression that it's going to last. But certainly we have the repetition there with it may be. And of course, we could talk about the anaphora there as well. So that's something that we have with the maybe, maybe. So in terms of language features, those are some points perhaps you may just want to be thinking about. And the next quote we have is, "I comb its hair and love its shining eyes." So of course, the language here, again, this stanza starts off carrying a different tone as well. So I have no passport, there's no way back at all. So that's maybe another quote you may want to think about. But here, certainly, it seems to be a lot of joy being sort of presented here. So I comb its hair and perhaps the city or the country, almost describing um, a child that's perhaps playing with a pet or toy and so on. So really give me the idea that there's real love here, and potentially as well, sort of both the love is sort of shown from both sides. So that's something the love here, something that's quite of interest to us. So that's another quote again. Perhaps you'd want to maybe go into in terms of the description that's being used here. And we've got "they accuse me of absence, they circle me" as well. So they, the repetition here again, once more, is something that will just allow you to go into further details in relation to the threat that's been posed. So also that's something you may want to dig into further. Okay, so that's some of the quotes there. I think that would suffice for this poem. So that's relatively short as well, so just 25 lines. This poem. I hope that has been helpful. Thank you for listening. Till next time, take care and bye for now.